Mike here. Welcome back. Today I'm going to use this video to answer some of the questions that you've either posted in the comments or asked me directly. I'll start with Mosaic and the planes in there. There's a lot of pilots who have been waiting for Mosaic to pass, and it did, although it's not fully enforced yet. And I can tell you a little secret, even the FISDA and the FAA are still learning about the rules they created, right? Or the rules given to them. For us being on the other side as an operator, we actually work hand in hand to better understand and implement some of these rules. So the first thing being, one of the questions, hey, do I need a medical to fly an airplane? If you're new to this, understanding that normally you're required to have medical, FAA medical, in order for you to fly planes. Any planes you see in there or any planes outside here, you typically would need a medical. And that basically, think of it like a physical, but through an FAA certified doctor. Got to go to a real doctor, but they're FAA certified and they perform a medical on you, and that would allow you the grace and privilege to be able to fly. And I will add one more thing. If you are just starting your journey and you want to get a private pilot license or certificate, guys, take care of that medical first, because you don't want to be in a situation where you've already invested so much time and money into training and then to find out that something is going on with you health-wise, and that would delay getting your medical. You can't solo without a medical. You certainly cannot get a private pilot license without one. Note that. But to answer the question, since Mosaic, you actually do not need a standard medical to be able to fly a light sport aircraft. Okay, the key is light sport. We fly technically advanced light sport aircraft here. The key is, if most of your flight is going to be, or not most, if all of your flight is going to be in a light sport aircraft, you don't need a medical, but that also limits you to a sport pilot ticket. If you've already gotten your private pilot ticket and or instrument, and medical is being funny for you right now, guess what? You can still go fly a light sport aircraft, which through Mosaic is a lot more practical airplane, I would say, that fits into that box of light sport. I hope that answers it for you. Whoever asked me that question, you don't need a medical to start flying, not necessarily, but I would definitely check the rules before you can move forward. From a owner standpoint, so if you have enjoyed or you're privileged enough to be able to buy your own airplane or fly your own airplane, maintenance is going to be one of the things to keep track of, obviously, not just from a safety standpoint, but also from a dollar cost standpoint. When you're maintaining your aircraft, every plane in the United States have to go through what's called an annual. Generally speaking, you need an IA. So we have A&P mechanics, airframe and power plant mechanics, and then you need an IA to sign off on an annual. But guess what? Since Mosaic passed, light sport planes, just an A&P can sign off. Not just that, now with light sport aircraft, you can have what's called an LSRM. Someone who is certificated as an LSRM, which could be you. If you fly an airplane, you can go take the course, guys, like a few weeks. Take the course and you're legally able to work on your airplane and or sign off on the work. Same thing from a commercial standpoint. Now, we use A&P mechanics still because we prefer that, right? But if we wanted to, we could have several folks. We could hire LSRM to take care of our airplanes. To me, the quality of work is the most important thing. So that's one additional thing to keep in mind as far as operating your aircraft and or maintaining your airplanes. Now you have easy path to getting that airplane worked on, and you don't necessarily have to go wait on a shop for weeks or months in time. So, and I truly believe that this will also open up the doors for more people to perhaps build a career in airplane management and or maintenance, because that stuff matters. You think we have a shortage of pilots, you have twice the shortage in aircraft mechanics. So I think that will hopefully ease up that shortage or frustration a little bit. Another question that came to mind, this has been asked by more than one person. One from someone who they've been trained, they've never owned an airplane before, or they've owned airplanes before. The fact is the airplane market is different today, but when you compare it to everything else, I think it's kind of going with the flow of everything economical. So if you are looking to get your very first airplane, if you can afford it, I would say go for it. If you're waiting for the market to tank or change, I would not advise to do that. If you can afford a good plane, right? You have to think of airplanes, one from a safety standpoint, but also from a practical standpoint. If you can afford a good plane and you find one, I'd say go for it. Don't try to be tight-fisted and say, well, I'm going to wait. The chances are, particularly for these smaller airplanes, the market is either going to remain the same or become more expensive. And that's what I've seen since I've been in this industry. And I've been here for quite some time. I've yet to see airplanes really go down in value. So if you're looking to buy, get in now. Look, I'm at an airport. There are plenty. I've already made several videos on how you can get great deals on airplanes. If you walk your airport, just like I'm doing right now, chances are you may be able to find an airplane that's been abandoned. If you see an airplane that someone is not flying, you can try to find out about that plane or who owns it and potentially get a deal, a really good deal on that plane. So you may not have to look on Barnstormers or Control or Trade a Plane to find your next plane. It could be right there at your local airport. So please do walk around the airport, find a deal, reach out to the person, and see if they will sell their airplane to you. Or second best option, find a partner. It becomes so much more lenient and cost effective if you can put a bunch of guys or girls together, go together on a plane. Now, you do have to make sure everything is signed on paper and think of the worst case scenarios, have a way of dealing with those worst case scenarios. I'll even go as extreme as when you have a partner on an airplane, think of it as getting a partner in a business venture. And something I always recommend is also to get a life insurance policy on those partners. It sounds crazy, but it protects everybody just in case. You never know. That's, to me, that's a great option. If you're looking to buy and you don't necessarily want to put all your money in, find others who are looking for the same plane or where that plane serves a similar mission for them and go in on that plane. I'm going to answer one more question. And this question goes back to the rules pertaining to category of airplane. Someone asked, what's the difference between getting your private pilot license in a light sport or your standard certified planes like a Cherokee or a Cessna? There's several factors. I'll start with the downside. If you train in a light sport, for example, they're lighter. These planes are less heavier. They're more vulnerable to wind. So they have less capabilities as far as winds are concerned, but they're also, to me, they're more fun to fly, and they're easier to fly because they're not complex at all. You don't have all the extra switches and control things or control arms, for example, like a propeller or a mixture lever. You don't have any of those in a light sport as compared to your traditional airplane. You'll be flying a lighter airplane. You will be limited in terms of weight. Now, keep in mind, some of these planes have come a long way, okay? The plane we fly, we still fly up to 240 pounds for the student. So, and with Mosaic, you have the light sport category can go up to 3,000 pounds. So even the weight, I don't think will be an issue any longer. Over the years, that's one of the limitations. Look out for a more exciting ride in a lighter airplane. But as far as the quality and safety, there's really not that much difference. Actually, in my opinion, and this is biased, I think light sport aircraft are safer to fly than your conventional planes because, again, there's less things to worry about. A lot of them come with a parachute, and there's more ease on the pilot because you have better equipment, better avionics, but also it saves your pocket because light sport aircraft burns half the fuel that your typical certified airplane burns. So from a student standpoint, you may end up paying significantly less for your pilot's license or training in a light sport as compared to standard Cessna or Cherokee. So those are some of the differences. But like I said, with the new laws that passed last July with Mosaic pass, and a lot of those rules are gonna merge and you wouldn't have that much difference anymore. That's all I got for you. I hope I answered what you've been asking. If you have any more questions, drop in the comments below. I know I need to fly more because that's another question that's been asked, but right now we're in the season of building. So I'm building, I'm working, I'm trying to get you in the pilot seat. So please come check me out. Check out our program at lookupflightacademy.com. Also, starting in July, you will be able to get a college degree together with your pilot certificate. It's the best thing to me on both. More so with a college degree, guess what? Your hourly requirement to get into the airlines, it's reduced by between 250 and 500 hours. So you'll be saving not just on the cost, but also when you get all your certificate and you want to use it for work. Okay, so check that out. That's lookupflightacademy.com. Also consider joining my private group. It's the Mojo Effect. Guys, if you want to learn more about the back end, the business side of how I'm doing all of this or putting all of this together, check me out. The Mojo Effect, the link is below. That's school.com/the Mojo Effect. I'll catch you in the next video.